Spirit of Hope by Bob Graham. 6 days a week, the Fairweathers crossed the bridge. They waved at the passing trucks and the drivers waved back. Everyone knew the Fairweathers, and the Fairweathers knew everyone. 6 days a week, the Fairweathers said goodbye to Dad at the factory gate, his lunch tucked under his arm in a brown paper bag. 6 nights a week, Dad returned from home. The welcome he received was second to none, and each night he made the journey to the bathroom on his hands and knees. Lily sat up front, then Cecily and Mikey, Dougie and Sammy, Jock the dog, Bumper and Thumper, and Trevor the tortoise, and last of all there was Mary, the youngest Fairweather. Dad washed off the oil from the factory. He scrubbed his nails, 10 little black crescent moons, in a sea of foam, and he sang, "The owl and the pussycat went to the sea in a beautiful pea-green boat." Then Mum sang, "Little Mary Fairweather dancing in the snow, wiggle, 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 go, go, go." Dad did his bird calls. "Caw-caw, caw-caw." "Hopeless," yelled Mickey. "Let's be a ship at sea," they called. A chair was put on the kitchen table. "Who's the captain tonight?" called Lily. "Sammy can be the captain," Mum replied. "Say it, Dad, say it," they yelled. "Full steam ahead," said Dad. "Let's imagine our house in a ship at sea, chugging along in the darkness. Listen to the engines. Put-a-pum, put-a-pum, put-a-pum." Sammy sat on the chair with the captain's hat on and steered the house to far away and exotic places. Then Lily and Cecily, Mikey and Dougie, Sammy and Mary would climb into bed and go to sleep with the sound of the big trucks rolling by in the night. The 7th day was a picnic day on the docks with plum jam sandwiches, root beer and fruit cake. They heard the cries of the seagulls and the slap of water on the hulls of the ships. One day they saw sailors from a faraway port. "Join us for our picnic," called Dad. "What is the name of your ship?" "Spirit of Hope," the sailors shouted. As the Fairweathers returned home from their picnic, it seemed that their house was an island where the sun was always shining. But that evening, everything changed. There was a knock on the door. "Are you the Fairweathers?" asked one of the men. "Yes," replied Dad. "Come in." "No, thank you," said the man. "We have come to inform you that you must move." 12 faces stared at him. "And soon," he added. "Why must we move?" Lily asked. "To make way for a factory," Dad replied. "A factory? Where?" Cecily asked. "Here," said Mum, pointing to the floor. "What for?" Mikey asked. "For matchsticks," replied Dad. "A factory to make matchsticks," Mum repeated. "And what will happen to our dear little house?" There was silence. "Matchsticks," Dad replied, and he put his head in his hands. That night there were no captains steering the ship from the table, and gloomy silence hung over the Fairweathers' house. "We must not despair," said Mum. "We must keep up a spirit of hope. No matter what happens, at least we are together. Tomorrow we shall look for a new house." All the next week the Fairweathers searched with hope. Their friends all searched too. All they found were warehouses, factories, storage lots and one small trailer out near the railway. "Too small," said Dad. "No grass for the rabbits," said Cecily. "We'll try again next week," said Mum. Mary said nothing. The following week the Fairweathers searched in despair until they could search no more. "I feel," said Dad, "that we are adrift in a sea of trouble." Well, I feel, said Mum, looking at Mary, that the answer to our troubles is closer than we thought. Quick, Mary, we have no time to lose. What are we going to do? Asked the children. No time to explain, replied Mum. Mary's house bumped along all the way home. It must be something to do with Mary, said Lily. No, it's nothing to do with Mary, said Cecily. Hurry, called Mum. Bring those planks over here. Yes, it is, said Mikey. And her toy house, added Dougie. Roll those drums over here, hurry, said Mum. The excavator clawed its way to the corner of their house. We're too late, shouted Dad. All is lost. We need our friends, yelled Mum. Help, cried the Fairweathers. All the Fairweathers' friends came from everywhere. Mary watched everything, her toy house dangling from its string. With a mighty wrench, the house left the ground and swung high in the air. It turned 3 times on its cable, then it became a house on wheels. I shall call our house Spirit of Hope, shouted Dad, and he dipped his brush into a can of black paint. The Fairweathers' house bumped along on the road all the way to the docks. Now, even on the darkest night, there is a light glowing at the end of the pier. The house seemed to be pulling along gently at its moorings, wanting to slip away with the tide. Who will be our captain tonight? Asked Cecily, Lily, Mikey, Dougie, and Sammy. Mary, says Dad.